So you're thinking about moving to Boulder. First off, great choice. Boulder is one of the most unique places in the country, from its outdoor lifestyle to its super competitive housing market. But before you pack your things and start hitting the road, I'm going to give you a few tips. 5 essential tips, whether you're moving from out of state or relocating within Colorado. I'm Michael with Lovato Properties, and you're on our channel, Living in Boulder. So here's your first tip. You need to know the housing market. And I'll give you the secret. It moves pretty fast. Generally speaking, homes don't sit on the market that long. So when you see something that you truly love, you want to make sure you're ready to move, ready to act. And our home prices here are higher, quite a bit higher in some cases than the national average. So I say that, and the reason is because we have pretty strict building codes here. We have low supply, generally speaking, and pretty high demand. It's a small area. So what you want to do is you really want to be prepared and know where you want to be before the actual time to pull the trigger. This also applies to renting. If you're trying to rent here to just kind of get the lay of the land, you need to be prepared 2 to 3 months before you move here to get that lease secured. A great tip, insider tip, is to maybe think about a short-term rental. So if you're coming from out of town, book one of those short-term rentals, get in, learn the area, figure it out before you rent or buy. So tip number 2, get ready for an outdoor lifestyle. So you don't have to be an extreme athlete, but if you like skiing, running, biking, hiking, rock climbing, even swimming, this is the place for you. You'll fit right in. I'll say this, there's 155 miles of trails right here in Boulder, access to which is super easy. We've also got these great hikes, Mount Anita, Chautauqua, Bear Peak, and many more. So those are things that you're going to want to consider. Also, please pack your hiking shoes for when you come for your tour, or your running shoes, because you're going to use those when you're visiting. Let's talk about a couple other things. If you're looking at some of these pedestrian trails, you can walk or cycle pretty much anywhere. So that's really what Boulder's known for, getting around on foot or on 2 wheels. So much access to that outdoor lifestyle. Okay, tip number 3, understand the cost of living, because let's be honest, Boulder's not cheap. It's known for having higher than the national average for cost of living prices. And here's what I want to examine. You need to budget for this if you're coming from out of state. The utilities can be a bit higher here. The groceries, the gas, all of that tends to be a bit higher right here in Boulder proper. Obviously, we talked about housing being higher, so that's the given that it's a higher cost of living right in Boulder. If you need alternatives, we have some surrounding towns that accommodate better budgets. But there are ways that you can kind of tighten up the budget here when you come. Transportation is one of them. It's very walkable. We have good buses, and you can ride pretty much anywhere. It's cold sometimes, but if you want to save on those transportation costs, we can do it here in town. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a specific video just for you guys on cost of living. This way we can dive into how to live in Boulder County and make the best decision from a financial standpoint. Okay, tip number 4 is that you need to know Boulder's culture and vibe. It's very unique here. It's very special. We have our own personality, and that's all encompassing, from health conscious as well as environmentally friendly to our amazing international crowd, and then also an entrepreneurial spirit. Word always gets me, but it's really living here in Boulder. An example of this is we have CU Boulder, where you have international talent from all over the world comes here. They come to live and they stay. We see it everywhere. You also will see people trying to save the environment on their way to ski. Here's another cool part of our culture and vibe. You can go to Eldora and do your work remote vibe there. So on Fridays, they will allow you to work on their in their lodge and leave your computer there and watch it while someone else goes and skis, or someone watches yours while you ski. So cool. But we're here at Rincon Argentino, a brilliant Argentine restaurant, and we're going to check it out. But it's a great example of strong entrepreneurial spirit and cultural vibe all the way from Argentina. So tip number 5 is to know the weather and the altitude. Here in Boulder, we have a very distinct weather personality, and it changes on a dime. So in one day, you can have all 4 seasons very distinctly. We're also at a very high altitude, 5430, not super high, but enough to know the difference. So here's some tips. let's address the weather. Be prepared. Expect that it gets very cold here at times. In February, you could have 5 degrees or -5. But then guess what? A week later, 60 degrees. And that's really very realistic. So prepare for that. Also, with regard to the altitude, 5430, you're above that threshold of where you will feel it and you won't feel quite normal. The best tip, drink a ton of water. Recognize also that your metabolism comes up, so you may be hungrier than you're used to if you come from sea level. So those are some great things to know about the Boulder weather and altitude when you come and live in this beautiful town. So those are the 5 tips you need to know. Know the market is very fast-paced here. Know that we have a very outdoorsy lifestyle. Know that our Boulder culture is super cool. And also know that we have a pretty high cost of living. And finally, tip number 5, you've got to remember that our weather and altitude will hit you hard if you don't watch out. I'm Michael Lovato with Lovato Properties. I love helping people relocate to my beautiful town or move within Colorado. So please reach out if you guys want more information. DM me, hit me a comment, or pick up the phone.